be confident in the fact that you are the adult, you are the parent. It is your job to keep your kids safer, not only in real life with seatbelts, but online. And so tech is neither good nor bad, it's a tool. So make sure you have the safer version of the tool.
Welcome to the Healthy Screen Habits Podcast. I'm Hillary Wilkinson. Whether you're starting your parenting journey with a newborn or looking to connect with your teen on technology, let's learn some new healthy screen habits together. Featured in Time magazine as one of the best inventions of 2023, the Bark phone continues to expand and deliver upon the reliability and safety needs for kids as they explore their online life. I am so excited today to bring in Bark's chief parenting officer to learn more about the phone, the Bark for Schools app, and so much more. She's a super well-known face in digital wellness and an expert on kids and tech. Welcome to Healthy Screen Habits, Titania Jordan.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Titania, before we dive into this sort of world of digital wellness, I wonder, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? What brought you to digital wellness?
Mm. I think it was just a function of when I was born, 1980, um, and being super interested and curious in how this whole tech thing works. And then social media came about at a time where I was uh, a young professional and then a new mom. So it was a wonderful place for me to get real-time support for being a mom for the first time. Um, and it just became a part of my life. And because of that, there were not only good things about it, but also bad things. And once I started to realize how it was impacting me negatively and then apply it to how I knew it could and was impacting children negatively, I couldn't think of a more fitting and important mission to focus on, given my perspective and career choices, than to keep kids safer online.
So I have to ask because I kind of love this title, Chief Parenting Officer. Do you have a name tag you wear around the house or a uniform? Is it respected in your home or is it just a
No.
business?
Yeah,
Always, right?
yeah,
Always.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
no, listen up, guys. I'm a big deal here.
yeah. Like in my own home, let's do this. No, I don't. So my son's almost 16 now. I never see him. I am, it's a common meme now where parents joke about um texting your teenagers like texting a guy who's not interested in you, like
Mhm.
literally texted him. We're in the same house, but I texted him today, like, I miss you. Can we hang out today? Nothing. Nothing. So I forgot oh yeah, chief parenting officer. Yeah. Nobody cares in my house. But outside the house, kind of a big deal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they keep us honest, right?
Right. But in all seriousness, I know that's not a common title that that you see, which is why I have a dual title of Chief Marketing Officer and Chief Parenting Officer. But the Chief Parenting Officer one, it's really meaningful. I didn't come up with it. Our CEO, Brian Basin, who's a dad of two, uh, bestowed it upon me, and it's an honor because that's what we're doing is helping parents parent in a world that has never existed before. We don't have a manual for this. So
Right.
yeah, I don't take the responsibility lightly, and one day at a time, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I know that everybody focuses on this. We're navigating a whole new world,
Mhm,
thing,
mhm.
which yes, yes,
Yeah.
and yes,
Yes.
we are. However, I argue that equally important is the fact that yes, we are the first generation of parents to be charting this new course within tech and parenting. Equally important, we are the last generation to remember the before.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is key. And it is key that people really sit in that throne of strength of knowing the power of being disconnected and of having time in your head.
Yeah, we are critical
Mhm,
for this inflection point in terms of helping people to realize that it doesn't have to be this way.
mhm.
And it's actually healthier to have more balance.
I agree. I agree. So, moving forward with that, how does the Bark app or using a Bark device, why is it important to install those things?
Well, it'd be one thing if the tech that we let our children access was just inherently safe and they had to, or somebody had to go through a lot of work to try to make it unsafe. But in fact, it's the opposite.
Mhm,
Um, and so just by bringing the internet into your home or putting a smart TV on your wall or handing your child a tablet that's not theirs, it's just yours, but you're letting them play with it. You're introducing them to some of the worst content and people that exist.
mhm,
So there is a need for education, uh, tools like Bark that help children to have a safer experience with tech and help parents be in the know when their children have encountered problematic content or problematic people. And I know we'll probably talk about this at some point, but there's also greater need for legislation to help thwart some of this stuff from even happening in the first place.
mhm, mhm. Do you have any of the current stats around cyber harms?
I mean, we could have 7 podcasts on that
Right,
alone.
right, right.
But from our annual report, which we every year we analyze billions of data points across, Bark helps to protect over 7 million children across the United States. And last year, 2023, we analyzed over 5.6 billion data points across children's text, email, social media accounts, et cetera. And what we found just from our internal data is staggering. I mean, 33% of tweens and 57% of teens were involved in a self-harm or suicidal situation. 58% of tweens and 75% of teens encountered nudity or content of a sexual nature. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on. Predators, disordered eating, bullying, depression, violence, anxiety. It's a lot. It's heavy. And we're talking about children.
Right, right. You know, I question whether this announcement that Instagram made big news recently with the big announcement of the parental controls. I don't know if they're effective, if at all, but you are exactly the person who I need to be asking this to.
Yes. Yes.
Are
Yes.
they any good? Is that like so Instagram's big news of we have parental controls, which the timing of that announcement was really choice. I'll just add with the whole with COSA and which is now COSPA in legislation, and it was really interesting the timing around Instagram's big announcement. But are they any good? Are the parental controls in Instagram any good?
Are they any good? Yes, they are something, and something's better than nothing. They are meaningful, but they're not enough. If Instagram launched this 3 years ago, I would be applauding it more wholeheartedly. But to your point, they could have done this a long time ago, and they decided to do it within 24 hours of a Senate committee hearing around this very topic of regulating big tech when it comes to online safety of children. So that's incredibly suspect. Um, and what they neglected to do, which child privacy and safety experts have highlighted as one of the major problems around predation and bullying and sextortion, is they neglected to hide the following and follower count, not only count, but the details of who's following a child and who the child is following. And that's problematic because if you're trying to abuse a child and you're trying to get into their inner circle, you start to friend request their circle so that you seem like a mutual connection. Um,
Absolutely. And
you
that's
know,
how
and
we know how most extortion rings are operating. How
right.
most extortion rings are getting into kids' DMs by sort of this like co-vetting of
Yeah,
their friends of friends. Therefore, the the individual who's being approached with the friend request is vetting them via association.
right. And you have to wonder, why didn't they give that option? For Facebook, also owned by Meta, you can do that. You can turn off the ability for your friends to see your friend list. So why not with an Instagram,
Right.
especially for minors? So are they worthwhile? Yeah, they're great, but they should have already existed, and they're not going to prevent, some of the core issues that are happening on that platform.
Right. When we come back, we're going to talk about how Bark is helping kids stay safe on school devices. We love what we do, and we wouldn't be able to do it without the generous donations provided by our listeners and followers. We want to extend special thanks to the Doctors Petty for their unwavering support of the podcast and organization. If you'd like to make a difference and contribute to the education and empowerment of families building their healthiest screen habits, please go to healthyscreenhabits.org, find the Take Action tab, and scroll down and click the donate button. 100% of your donation will be used to spread awareness and bring families the tools they need to develop healthy screen habits. I'm speaking with Titania Jordan, the CMO and Chief Parent Officer at Bark Technologies, a company that helps to protect over 7 million children across the nation through their app and safer smartphone for children. In 2020, our schools did something that prior to the COVID-19 shutdown was unprecedented. They issued one-to-one devices to every student. Now, these were absolutely crazy times. We were all doing the best with what we could, with what we had. And that being said, it has largely never gone back. Okay, we've got those one-to-one devices. Tech is in the hands of most school kids daily. And as we all know, where kids go, predators will follow. And I mean, we cannot count the number of stories we hear at Healthy Screen Habits about school issued devices accessing inappropriate content. Parents are so frustrated. And a big part of the reason why I wanted Titania to come on was many parents that I speak to are not aware of Bark for Schools. And can you do a deep dive for us into Bark for Schools? I mean, like,
Absolutely.
yeah, like when you guys developed it, cost, what's it compatible with? I'll pepper you with questions.
Yes, go for it. Yeah. So Bark for Schools is our free give back to any K through 12 school in the United States. We provide monitoring for Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace, including Chrome and Chromebook and DNS filtering. We launched Bark for Schools in response to the tragic Parkland shooting, as a way to help schools protect students online at no cost to them or their communities. We knew that our tech was helping consumers, parents, with their children and issues that were happening on personal devices, but we also know that a lot of times things are happening on school issue devices, like children
Mhm.
writing suicide notes or threats in Google Docs, right, on the school issued Chromebooks. And so the fact that we're able to thwart credible threats because of this work with Bark for Schools and our footprint of over 3,700 school districts now is just so meaningful. So it's free. It's free for any school in the nation. Um, there is, as we've seen, a need for essentially 24/7, 365 on-call service, so that if a school administrator gets an alert and it's 2 a.m. and they can't wait until 8 a.m. the next day, there is a paid version, almost like a hotline, like, hey, let's deal with this ASAP.
Mhm.
So that part isn't free, but we have to pay for the people to be available to talk to you.
Mhm.
So that's how that is paid for. But yeah, it's it's been incredible what this collaboration has surfaced.
For
Um,
sure, for sure. Now, just for clarity, is it
mhm.
something that parents can use on their own, or do you have to have a school subscribe to Bark for Schools, or like how does that all work?
So it depends what the school decided to do.
Okay.
We so the school gets Bark for free and they connect the school issue devices and accounts, but they also have a parent dashboard that we give them. Now, if they turn that on, then a parent is able to go to that dashboard and collaborate with the school administration on things that are happening. And within that dashboard, we give parents the ability to upgrade and, use Bark for their personal devices as well. Some schools will pay for Bark for their families. So then these parents actually have Bark for their personal home use for free, that they can take advantage of. Sometimes there's discounts. Sometimes it's school by school. But essentially, Bark for Schools is free. Every school should use it. It can be compatible with other filtering and monitoring systems too. If you have already, signed up for something and paying for something, but you want a little extra robust AI. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next question I have is around like privacy.
Mhm.
So if you're using Bark for Schools, do the notifications of alerts go, they don't go to the parents, they go to school admin? Is that how it works?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The school issued devices and accounts are the responsibility of the school.
Got you.
And they're also responsible for protecting the children that they give that to. And
Hmm.
so when there's an issue that comes up, then it goes to the admin. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Well, thank you.
Hmm.
So let's move from Bark from Schools and now talk about the Bark phone, which
Yes.
is a super great alternative as a first phone. And can you tell us about the Bark phone? Like, why is it better than just taking a stripped down iPhone or a flip phone or something like that?
Yeah. So the Bark phone was built essentially by our CTO, Brandon Hilkert, a dad of two, and his children really, really wanted a smartphone. And he was like, absolutely not, unless I can build a safer one for you. And he did. And it's the most customizable kids phone with text and social media monitoring built in. Now, that said, we know that kids, really don't need social media. And so there's many options. You can give your child a Bark phone and not have any internet or social media on it at all. It's just talking and texting, and that's it. And you can track your child's location, um, etc. You even have the ability to turn the camera on and off remotely. Let's say they're going to a friend's house and you just don't want them messing around with the camera, taking photos or videos. Boom, you can handle that from your own smartphone. Um, as your child grows, or let's say their teacher really wants them to do some research, and so you want to let them use the browser for a minute, you can turn that on and sit beside them and look up something that they need to look up and then turn it back off. You can set time limits that actually work. And I say that because a lot of families will opt to give their child an iPhone and think, oh, well, I'll just use screen time. And that would be great if screen time didn't have known bugs that have been out for over 2 years
Hmm.
that Apple still hasn't fixed.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Uh,
So, do you want to add anything more?
yeah, I just want to say like a few more things about the Bark phone because it's just like there's so many great things about it that don't exist with other phones. For example, we know that sexting is a problem with children. It's the new first base. And so with the Bark phone, if a child goes to take a nude photo or video, it doesn't save to the device. It doesn't even let them capture child sexual abuse material, much less send it, which is a huge, huge sigh of relief for parents when they're giving their kid a digital device. Um,
So how does it do that? Who like
right?
I,
Right?
I like I'm just for my own curiosity. How does it know?
Our data science team is incredible and was able to create, I guess, parameters, for lack of a better term, to help decipher if the media surfaced was a child.
Oh.
Uh, it's, I can't speak to it because
Mhm.
I'm not a data scientist or an engineer. And also
And
it's
I wouldn't
proprietary,
understand it
but
anyways.
well,
So
but yeah, no, I mean when Brandon told me like, hey, we're building this functionality, I was like, are you kidding me? Like this is a game changer. Like this is life-saving. So
and like, you just wonder why doesn't if you guys can do it, I'm positive that Meta can do it. And why isn't Meta doing it already? I
exactly. And back to Apple for a minute. Um, Within Apple, for those families listening who have already given their children, Apple devices, there is something within screen time called communication safety. And if you turn the communication safety feature on, it will, if it detects it, blur nude imagery and almost give children a little bit of a speed bump notification of like, hey, this looks like it's sensitive media. Are you sure you want to send it? Are you sure you want to view it? Now, that's better than not doing anything at all, but it's still not enough. I don't think we need to leave it up to children to decide whether they want to send nudes or not.
right, right. Because clearly, I mean, if they're taking them, they have the intent. So
Yeah, yeah. And, for older children, you can lock the bark phone while they're driving
Mhm,
to help limit distractions. I mean, honestly, we all need that, right? I mean, there's so many things because we looked at this through the lens of if and when it's time for a child to have a safer smartphone, what should that look like? How can we help them utilize the best that comes with this technological innovation and mitigate the harms and the distractions?
mhm, mhm. So I know that even as we're talking, and I'm convinced, but what if parents are still kind of like on the fence over this,
Uh-huh.
like monitoring, limiting screen use, all of the things? Do you have any set advice that you kind of give parents to, I don't want to say convince them, but just to educate as far
Hmm.
as,
I like to just think back to what I would do differently. As the mom of a sophomore in high school, whew, I made all the mistakes, all of them. Um, and so what I would do if I had a do-over, gosh, I wish I had a do-over. I would delay, 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 as our friend probably Chris McKenna says, delay is the way. Um, just because all of my son's friends are playing, Roblox or Minecraft or Fortnite doesn't mean we need that in our home. Um, just because everybody in my son's fourth grade class got an iPhone doesn't mean that he needed one as well to fit in, right? Um, our children will pull on our heartstrings and appeal to our desire for them to not be left out
Mhm,
and implore us to not let them be left out. But on the flip side, it's our jobs to make sure our children are left out of the bullying and graphic sexual content and addictive algorithms. So I just be confident in the fact that you are the adult, you are the parent. It is your job to keep your kids safer, not only in real life with seatbelts, but online. And so tech is neither good nor bad, it's a tool. So make sure you have the safer version of the tool, right? Like when your kid turns 16, you don't give them a Lamborghini with no seatbelt. Give them a Honda with
mhm.
airbags, right? And
and
so just
and
yeah,
with lots of driver's training.
lots of and car insurance,
Yeah.
right? And so I've clearly gone down a rabbit hole now, or like I'm on my soapbox. And I don't know if I answered your question, but essentially,
That's okay. I think personal testimony is very powerful advice because, you have the benefit of that 2020 hindsight that a lot of times we wish we had
yes.
before,
Well,
and
not only that, if I may interrupt, um, I started a Facebook group called Parenting in a Tech World in 2017 when my son was younger and I needed help and advice. And I was like, let me crowdsource. Okay, now there's over 550,000 parents in that group. And I have yet to hear a parent say, I should have given my child access to XYZ sooner. Not yet. And on the flip side, every single day, my same story is being echoed. And so that's why I'm so confident about it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's perfect advice. I wouldn't
Good.
change a thing.
Okay, great.
So I don't want to name call, but I feel like you again are uniquely qualified to answer this question. So, with all of your background and your research and all of the things, what do you see as the most problematic social media app?
Oh, I would say Snapchat.
Oh my gosh, we're aligned.
Yeah. I mean, the reason Snapchat started as an app was to send disappearing nudes.
hmm It was called
So,
Peekaboo.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was originally
So,
called Peekaboo. And yeah, due to name infringement issues, they had to change it, and hence the name Snapchat evolved. And Snapchat now has this marketing campaign about not,
mm, oh,
not being social
oh,
media, being
oh,
connection.
oh
And
my gosh.
oh, I
Oh.
give it to me, Titania. Go ahead.
Eh, every time I see one of those blasted billboards, I'm just like, "Arr!" And for those of you who can't see me right now, I'm raising my fist and just like "Arr!" I'm so mad because it's a lie. It's like less
Such a
likes.
lie.
Yeah, less likes, more Snapchat. Like not social media. You are the epitome of social media
Right.
and what
You could
everything that's,
define.
oh my
Yes.
gosh,
And
idiots.
And okay, so it started within this realm of this sneaky kind of winky wink thing of like
Right.
disappearing nudes. But now, even more, it's hard to say even more because the damage is the damage, right? And
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not gonna, I will not put pain on a continuum here. It's all pain that is being
Hmm.
caused
Hmm.
by the amount of drug trafficking and fentanyl deaths that are happening as a result of drug trafficking on Snapchat.
Yeah, children are dying.
Yes,
It's not just a
yes,
nudes issue or an
correct.
exploitation issue or a reputation issue. Children are dying because
Right.
of the app, because of Snapchat. Children can have drugs delivered to their home as easily and quickly and covertly as a pizza. Just slip it in their
Mm-hmm.
mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen the faces of those precious children, on cards behind hearings that have taken place, where Evan Spiegel was in the audience, the CEO of Snap. I don't think he turned around and apologized. So that's one thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, and not just drug trafficking, but let's talk about making children feel acutely left out.
Mm-hmm.
With
With the
Snap
snap
Maps.
maps. Yep.
Yeah, I can't think of a reason why I need to see where all my friends are and I'm not. Um, the My AI feature built into the app that leads children astray with bad advice.
Mm-hmm.
The My Eyes Only vault that hides things that I would argue children don't need to even be encountering.
Exposed to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or media. Their collaborations with platforms like HBO that show children content that they're not ready for yet. I mean, it just there I can't think of a single good thing about this app.
No, when we present at parent education nights, various schools, etc., I have had more than one administrator stand up and just say the thing that consumes the most amount of their time is Snapchat. And it's so I agree with you. It is my least favorite. And by least favorite, I'm gonna put it on the most hated social media app.
Yeah, and s sorry, I'm just so angry about this. Like Snapchat's resist bold resistance to work with families who have lost
Yes.
children and
Yes.
parental control options that could help. because at the end of the day, they know that the second they roll out meaningful parental controls, the user base is gone
Hmm.
and they're struggling with revenue. It's why they rolled out Snapchat Plus and the solar system feature. I mean, it's just like, oh, they're just so bad. They're so bad and they're so wrong. And there's so many things that they could do um, that they are not doing. And it's wrong.
We have to take a short break, but when we come back, I am going to ask Titania Jordan for her healthy screen habit. Do you know what's happening during your child's online exchanges? As well intentioned as we are, often reading every text message, post, and email is just not realistic. This is where Bark comes in to help. Founded in 2015, Bark Technologies provides a parental control app that monitors and alerts parents to online threats. Bark was created for parents by parents to offer a better, easier, and more effective way to keep children safe online. Bark monitors posts and messagings for things like signs of bullying and communication with dangerous strangers. Bark's algorithms analyze all activity and issue parents notifications via their chosen communication method. Gain peace of mind and get 10% off of Bark service for life by using the Healthy Screen Habits link. Go to our website at healthyscreenhabits.org, click on the Tools button in the drop-down menu, and look for products we endorse to find Bark. It will be the easiest click you make all day. Peace of mind is just a bark away. I'm speaking with Titania Jordan from Bark, a company whose mission is to keep kids safer online. Titania, on every episode of the Healthy Screen Habits podcast, I ask each guest for a healthy screen habit. This is going to be a tip or takeaway that listeners can put into practice in their own home nearly immediately.
Mm.
What's yours?
Love this question. Please do not allow connected tech in the bedrooms or behind closed doors.
Yep, that's it.
Period.
I
Yeah.
I I agree.
Easy,
Yep,
free. Everybody can do it. You cannot argue with it.
exactly. Collect all devices and just set that precedent of I love that no connected tech. Yeah, in
Yeah, and
bedrooms or behind.
that includes smart TVs and gaming
Yes.
consoles. A lot of people just think, oh, smartphones, iPads, it's anything that connect to the internet. Doesn't belong in a bedroom or behind closed doors. For a child, at least.
Yes. As always, you can find a complete transcript of this show as well as a link to the Bark website by visiting the show notes for this episode. If you do decide to order from it, use the code HS Habits to receive a discount. Do this by going to healthyscreenhabits.org, click the podcast button, and find this episode. Titania, thank you so much for being here today and for working so hard every day to keep all of our kids safe.
Thank you. Right back at you.
For more information, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Healthy Screen Habits. Make sure to visit our website, healthyscreenhabits.org, where you can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or via RSS, so you'll never miss an episode. It's free, it's fun, and you get a healthy new screen habit each week. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate you giving us a quick rating. It really does help other people find us and spread the word of healthy screen habits. Or if you'd simply like to tell a friend, we'd love that too. I so appreciate you spending your time with me this week, and I look forward to learning more healthy habits together.